Here's the trick, though, is that many decisions you make are made by default through inaction and stalling or not deciding. For example, you might find yourself in a job that you don't like, that doesn't align with your values and that you're not passionate about, that you don't find meaningful. And you could make a decision to say, I'm not going to put up with that, and I'm going to do the work to transition into a different career, into a better job, into starting my own business, or whatever that might be. But what most people will do, because making that decision is difficult and scary and uncomfortable, what they'll do is they'll just stall. They'll just wait. It's like, well, I can tolerate this. It's not, my job isn't so bad. I mean, it's not like slave labor. It's all right. My boss is pretty nice and I get decent salary and it's all right. And then you just kind of stall for a year and another year and another year. And before you know it, a whole decade goes by and you're just stalling. And really what you're being here is you're being indecisive. By default, your life is going to go down a certain trajectory like a freight train on rails. This default trajectory is what will happen when you don't make bold, clear decisions. It's when you just kind of settle for the path of least resistance. You don't think creatively outside the box. You don't push yourself. You don't have any ambitions. And you just kind of like go through the motions of life. But this is not going to create a great life. To create a great life, you must take some bold decisions and switch tracks of this freight train. Your life has a lot of momentum behind it. This momentum has been set by the first 20 years of your upbringing, your culture, your family situation, whatever career or job you happen to fell into, however you're surviving, all your survival patterns, those are established in the first 20 years of your life. Those are cemented into your brain and your mind and your psyche. And then, but what gets cemented there is not something great or extraordinary or anything even close to your full potential as a human being. This is just kind of like default basic stuff, right? Like when you're born, society programs you with a very basic operating system that just allows you to survive socially, culturally, economically a little bit usually. And that's about it. That's like all you get. You don't get something amazing. You get something mediocre and just kind of like passable, maybe comfortable if you're lucky. So to create the great life, you're going to have to make a series of bold decisions, a series of track changes to this freight train. These bold decisions will be scary and uncomfortable. You will tend to stall on them, justifying to yourself that what you've already got is good enough. After all, why risk it? But what you have to remind yourself is that the default, not making these bold decisions, will never lead you to your highest potential. Actualizing your highest potential requires pushing your comfort zone. Without bold decisions, you will tend to just get stuck in a rut of complacency and what's called the derp state. Owen Cook from RSD calls it the derp state. I like that particular framing. You're just sleepwalking through life. That's another way to state it. I've talked about that in the past. Sleepwalking through life. Wasting years of your life just kind of going through the motions, treading water, and missing out on massive new growth opportunities and experiences. These bold decisions expose you to new experiences, to new challenges, which force your body and mind to adapt and to grow.